You know, the Great Wall of China. Everyone does. But there are other giant walls on this planet that most people have never heard of. Some stretch for hundreds of miles. Some were built by powerful civilizations that history barely talks about. And some were found almost by accident. Here are 5 of the most massive ancient walls that still raise big questions. Wall 1. The Walls of Benin, Nigeria. In 1897, a British force marched into Benin City in present-day Nigeria. They expected a small town. Instead, they found something shocking. The city was surrounded by a huge system of earth walls and deep moats. Not just one wall, hundreds of connected walls forming rings around the city and nearby villages. These are known as the Walls of Benin. The entire system stretched about 16,000 kilometers when counting all sections. That makes it longer than the Great Wall of China. The walls once stood over 60 feet tall in some areas and enclosed around 460 square miles of land. Construction began around 800 AD and continued for centuries. Historians estimate it required about 150 million hours of labor. Everything was dug by hand using simple tools. When Portuguese explorers first arrived, they described Benin City as organized and wealthy, with wide streets and strong leadership. Some accounts even mention street lighting using palm oil lamps. In 1897, much of the wall system was destroyed during the British invasion. Sections were leveled, moats were filled, and famous Benin bronzes were taken to Europe. Today, only small fragments remain, hidden behind modern buildings. The largest earthworks of the pre-mechanical era were nearly erased from global memory. Wall 2. Sungbo's Eredo, Nigeria. Deep in the rainforest of southwestern Nigeria lies another massive wall system called Sungbo's Eredo. This structure forms a 165-kilometer ring of earth walls and ditches. Builders moved about 3.5 million cubic meters of earth. The ditch can reach up to 20 meters from bottom to top of the inner bank. Radiocarbon dating places it between 670 and 870 AD. The ditch was designed to reach the water table, making parts of it swampy. That would have made it very hard for enemies to cross. Local tradition connects the site to a wealthy woman named Bilikisu Sungbo. Some believe she may be linked to the Queen of Sheba described in religious texts. There is no direct archaeological proof of that connection, but her supposed tomb is located near the site and still attracts visitors. Today, much of the Eredo is covered by dense forest. Without a guide, it is hard to even see it. It remains one of Africa's largest single monuments, yet very few people outside the region know about it. Wall 3. Kat Shebib, Jordan. In 1948, a British diplomat named Alec Kirkbride was flying over southern Jordan when he noticed a long line cutting across the desert. Below him was a wall stretching about 150 kilometers. Locals called it Khat Shebib, meaning the line of Shebib. The wall includes around 100 small towers placed along its length. In some places, 2 parallel walls run side by side. Research suggests it may date back to the Iron Age, between 1200 and 550 BC. The mystery is its purpose. The wall is only about 3 feet tall in many places. It is too short to stop an army. The towers are too small to function as strong forts. One common theory is that it marked a boundary. It may have separated farmland to the west from open desert to the east, but this is still a guess. What makes it even more surprising is its location. It lies in the same region as Petra, one of the most famous archaeological sites in the world. Yet millions visit Petra each year, while this long desert wall remains almost unknown. Wall 4. Kumbhalgarh Wall, India. In Rajasthan, India, stands one of the longest continuous walls in the world. The Kumbhalgarh Wall stretches over 36 kilometers around a hilltop fort. It is often called the second longest wall in the world after the Great Wall of China. Built starting in 1443 under Rana Kumbha, the wall wraps around the fort high in the Aravalli Hills. In some areas, it is wide enough for several horses to ride side by side. The fort contains more than 360 temples, both Jain and Hindu. The fort was known for its strength. Historical accounts say that even powerful rulers struggled to capture it. In one case, attackers reportedly poisoned the water supply rather than breaking through the defenses. A local legend says the wall kept collapsing during construction until a holy man volunteered to sacrifice himself. After that, the structure stood firm. This is part of local folklore, not confirmed history. In 2013, UNESCO recognized Kumbhalgarh as part of the hill forts of Rajasthan World Heritage Site. Even so, many people around the world have never heard its name. Wall 5. Great Zimbabwe. Zimbabwe. In southern Africa stands a stone city built without mortar. The stones were carefully stacked and shaped so precisely that they have held together for more than 600 years. This is Great Zimbabwe. The main walls reach about 36 feet high and up to 17 feet thick at the base. At its peak, the city may have held around 18,000 people. It was the center of a powerful kingdom that controlled regional gold trade. Archaeologists have found Chinese porcelain and Persian pottery at the site, showing that the city was connected to international trade networks. When European explorers first saw Great Zimbabwe in the 1800s, many refused to believe local African people had built it. They suggested foreign civilizations instead. Archaeological evidence clearly shows it was built by ancestors of the Shona people. The design, materials, and artifacts all support this. The name Zimbabwe comes from the Shona words meaning great stone houses. No written record explains who ordered its construction or exactly why certain walls were shaped the way they were. But the city still stands, built with skill and precision long before colonial contact. 5 walls, 5 powerful societies, 5 structures that still leave questions behind. The walls of Benin show the scale of pre-colonial engineering in West Africa. Sungbo's Eredo proves that massive monuments were rising in rainforest regions over 1,000 years ago. Kart Shebib stretches across desert with no clear explanation. Kumbhalgarh remains one of the longest and strongest fort walls ever built. Great Zimbabwe stands as proof of advanced African stone architecture. Each wall had a purpose: defense, power, borders, identity. Some reasons are clear, others are still unknown. Which one do you think holds the biggest mystery?